as the light is on, ready to go. And we are away racing. It's a good start from the Astra. Storming start. Phil Briggs is really bogged down. As well, talking one that's bogged down was my bet for the race. John Hammersley has not had a good start whatsoever. So it is Chamberlain from Briggs coming through into the banking then the Minis. Well, no, actually, that's the Abarth actually working his way through. That's Marson. That's Andy Marson in the lead of the Abarth. Oh, and there's a spin. Which one of the minis is
Robin
that?
Danzy.
Yeah, Robin Dancy, a newcomer to the club, has ended up facing the wrong way. But look at the gap that Briggs and Chamberlain already have for themselves. And that's just in half a lap, absolutely screaming their way towards the second half of the lap. Then you got the little Fiat Bath. I really didn't expect that Fiat to do as well as it is, but absolutely stunning stuff. Big move there from Stephen Berry in the treble 6 car, getting ahead of the 95. That's Andy Bailey, another newcomer in the mint alloys Ford Fiesta. Then you've got John Hammersley in his traditional racing colours on that Scirocco. That's an absolute missile when it gets going, but not a great start for the club chairman, but so far so good from the field.
Yeah, driving solo, isn't he, this weekend? John Hammersley coming under pressure from the Volkswagen Golf of David Cox, whilst the race leading pack are already descending their way down through Cascades for the first time. It's Phil Briggs that's going to lead the first lap of the race. It's Adam Chamberlain in the Vauxhall Astra VXR that's there in second position. Andrew Marston in the Abarth is in third place. Fourth place is Sean Woodard at the wheel of his Mini. Then it's the 666 Mini of Stephen Berry that sits behind. And then he's coming under pressure from the Ford Fiesta of the fast-starting Andy Bailey, who's almost drawn himself alongside coming into the banking and takes a wide line in, leaves the door open, might lose a place here because Lee Campbell's trying to sneak his way through, and the number 14 Mini's going to go ahead of the Fiesta as Andy Bailey runs wide, coming out the hairpin, and there's contact, door-to-door contact between the two of them. It's bent the mirror around on the Mini, as it caused a front puncture as well. There was certainly a fair clobber between the pair of them, wasn't there?
I think that was a wing mirror that disappeared from the number 95 on Bailey's car. And look at John Hammersley trying to make that one 3 wide now, coming up towards Rocket Inn. And a good move then from the Scirocco on the outside of Lee Campbell. Again, that's not where the Mini's going to be at its strongest. Now the Mini is going to start to come good. But these are turbocharged and supercharged cars, so coming through these twisty bits, I don't think there's going to be such a big disparity as we saw in the swinging 60s perhaps, but then we will see. I wait to be proven wrong. I usually am when I make these kind of predictions. There's Kevin Fulbrook. I thought Kevin had withdrawn the car, but he's quite clearly
he's
there.
driving solo. Chris Williams
yes,
was scheduled to share with him as he's not racing.
Yes, Chris Williams sadly ill with COVID, so he's had to withdraw. There's David Cox in his Golf. He's had that for about 3 years if memory serves. So again, a regular in this particular category, followed by the next Abarth in line. 3 Marsons, all in Fiat Abarths. Lots of tyre squeal, as you can hear on the stream as they're coming through one of the faster parts of the circuits, coming through turns 1 and 2. There's David Cox then lining up the back of Kevin Fulbrook, father of Josh Fulbrook, who we regularly see as well, doing battle with father. We just saw John Hammersley then going out of the shot. There is Lee Campbell and the AirTech sponsored Mini. Lots of squabbling going on, as you would imagine. Now the general rhythms has been established. There's the Pumas. That is usually led by James Clare, which is actually, that's the one at the bottom of the shot there, as they're now coming through Church, which is turn 4.
Yeah, it's the Jacksons that lead, isn't it? It's Neil Jackson in the white car that's coming under pressure from James Clare, isn't it, who is right behind him.
Beg your pardon, yes.
And then it's John Glover in the yellow machine, and John Glover is coming under attack from Mark Kirby by the look of things. In fact, Mark Kirby is, behind. So there the lead 4 cars entered for the Puma Cup. A very cheap way to go racing for Puma. You think what you can pick them up for, not a great deal. Prep them for racing, which is a standard kit of parts that you buy, and it does make for a very competitive race car.
I mean, they still have the dashboard and the radio still in there, so they're almost completely road specs.
Yeah,
so
it's a little 1700cc Zetec engine, which actually is Yamaha derived. So it's a Yamaha derived engine that was in the Zetecs, the 1700 Fords at the time. But yeah, it's a great little chassis on the Puma, and they do go well. Just look how tight it is. First, second, third, and just out of shot fourth, all heading down through Cascades, all fighting for the lead of the Puma Cup element of the race.
Absolutely. So they'll carry on along their merry way. Continue with their own scrap for lead of the Puma Cup. And again, there you go. That is what just a handful of tenths looks like. Then you got one of the Mazda RX-8s right behind them. So that's car number 60, which is Jack Hordley. Yes, again, that's a new car to the series, I believe, in the black RX-8s. A couple of Mazda RX-8s Sometimes we see a few more of those, but we've got 2 of them in the field this time around. Again, they're fairly close to road spec as well. Not a great deal changed in those. Mandatory safety equipment, of course, in every car that has to go racing. But on the whole, the Pumas are the only one that's that's not in the shot is the 142, which is Mark Jackson's car, who's had a bit of a trouble start, it looks like. He's behind the field. 3 Jacksons in the field.
All related as well, aren't they? Yeah,
they
so
are.
You got Neil Jackson, who is in the 152 Puma. He shares that with his son Frank, and Frank's uncle, or Neil's brother, depending on what way around you want to cut it, drives in the 142 car. So yeah, very much a family affair in the Jacksons. Now there, we might have another change for position here, because that was Stephen Berry who ran a little bit wide, and it's allowed Andy Bailey in the Ford Fiesta to squeeze his way through as they head round through the banking. So the Ford Fiesta moves back up into 5th position. Berry, which is Stephen Berry, loses a place and now comes under attack from John Hammersley, who throws the Scirocco up the inside. And the man who can trace his roots back to, 1978 was it, when he first appeared in the Debenhams Ford Escort Series. Been racing for 5 decades now as John Hammersley, the CSCC chairman, gains the place.
Absolutely so. I mean, you did see that Stephen Berry had to get out of that one. I mean, who's realistically going to win a door-to-door battle between a Scirocco and a Mini? I think it's a fairly safe bet who's going to win out between the Volkswagen and the BMW Mini there. But yeah, Steve Berry wisely bailed out of that particular defence. And look at that, Hammersley's not wasting any time, already on the back of the 95 car. Andy Bailey looking for a move. Lee Campbell on the inside line, brave if you can pull it off, but didn't. He sort of bailed out of that one just coming down into the corkscrew. The track is wide enough if you've got the run, but he opted not to go for it. Discretion is the better part of valour and all that. We're fast approaching the pit stop window. Again, as a reminder, in the 30-minute races, the pit stop window opens 10 minutes in and closes 10 minutes after that. So 10 minutes before opening, open for 10 minutes and close for the final 10 minutes as Lee Campbell has a look in the outside line coming through the banking. Again, not going to go in his favour, but he wants to try and get the momentum coming out of the banking down towards Church. Can't quite get it done now. Do I see John Hammersley making a move on Bailey? Can't quite see in that particular camera shot. We'll catch up with the Scirocco shortly. Still, the Mini still having an argument, still side by side. And yes, John Hammersley did indeed get ahead of the number 95 guy. Just saw him going through the shot and look right behind. These 2 Minis are being caught up by the next one, as that's Fulbrook, and still side by side, Berry and Campbell still having an argument, still jostling for position. Now coming through turn 8, Kevin Fulbrook is like, you carry on, that's allowing me to catch up very nicely. Mini versus Mini versus Mini for what is going to be 8th position overall.
Yeah, so it is Phil Briggs in the Seat that leads. It is Adam Chamberlain just before the pit window opens, and the number 87 Vauxhall that's in 2nd place. 3rd place is the Abarth, that's the 59 car of Andrew Marson. 4th is 27, which is Sean Woodard. 5th at the moment was Andy Bailey's. He came over the start-finish line last time through. It's going to be John Hammersley now at the wheel of the Volkswagen Golf. Andy Bailey in the Ford Fiesta drops to 6th, and then we've got the trio of the Minis. Berry, Campbell, Fulbrook, all there in 7th, 8th and 9th. And the Volkswagen Golf of 10th place, which is David Cox, is also under pressure because right on his tailpipes is the number 3 Abarth in the hands of David Marson. So that's your order of the top 10 with about, 90 seconds to go before the pit window opens.
And Lee Campbell again, still under pressure from Berry, and now Kevin Fulbrook looking to get involved in the argument. All 3 of them, all 3 are R53, so they're all supercharged engines rather than the R56s, which are turbocharged engines. So they've got exactly the same machinery under the right foot. It's just whatever their personal setups are different, and how brave they decide to be with the application of the throttle. At the moment, it is Campbell from Berry from Fulbrook as they come back into Rocket, back into the twisty bit with Mark Jackson in the Puma, finding himself a very popular man, and Campbell's boxed in behind the Puma. Oh, that's going to force a 3 wide coming back up towards Peel to turn 9. But nicely navigated there from Jackson, didn't get in the way. Berry now just noses into the lead, but Campbell's going to have the inside line coming back down the hill towards the corkscrew. And when we catch up with him again, yep, that is Campbell back in the lead, but the unloaded wheel is locking up. That's nothing particularly major there to worry about. Mark Worrell now heading back down towards the pit lane, see who we can find to have a chat to, as Fulbrook now is having an argument with Steve Berry coming down the start-finish straight. Can't quite pull the move off. You just saw David Cox there in the back of the shot as he's just dethroned Dave Marston from 7th position in his Fiat Abarth. But these three minis are doing a fantastic job of giving us all the entertainment we need, as Fulbrook has wandered too wide on the exit of turn 3, kept his foot in it and pushed the mini on to keep himself in this particular argument. Fantastic stuff, kicking up a bit of dust for those that are trying to follow. There's a bit of a gap between himself and David Cox. You might just see him at the top of the shot, not quite. It's for those watching the stream. Glad to have those watching the stream getting involved in the chat. Make yourself known. Who are you supporting? It's great to have you along either live or post-event. We always enjoy your company here at the Classic Sports Car Club. And of course those watching trackside enjoying the weather with us here at beautiful Anglesey. As we continue to watch this trio of minis. The Briggs and Chamberlain battle up front has somewhat dissipated. About 4 seconds between them last time around, although Chamberlain was quite a bit quicker on that particular occasion. Back to the Pumas. James Clare now leading the way of this particular battle in the 100 car. As you can see there from the 152, which is Neil Jackson, which is Father Jackson. Whoa, having a look on the inside line. Can he get it done? That's coming up through turn 7. Yes, he can, as James Clare was put completely out of sync and almost nudges into the side of John Glover. That particular car has actually been seen in the hands of several people. I believe it is John's car, as that pack is now, I was going to say, it's now down to 3. There was a 4th Puma in there, but it's still there. We just saw it in that particular shot now as they come down towards corkscrew once again. Keeping the racing nice and hot as we look. As hot as the weather, as you could argue here. Any of them coming in? One of them did. There's John Glover in the yellow Puma, deciding now is the time to do his pit stop. Now it's a bit unusual for the pit stops for this particular category. So the Turbo Tin Tops are doing a quick as you can pit stop, whereas the Pumas are actually doing the time pit stop. So it's a bit unusual to have 2 different styles of pit stops in the same race, but they're 2 completely different categories. So that's why that's going on. As we see the 152 Puma keeping his position, that's Neil Jackson, trying to fend off the advances of James Clare, who is a regular front runner in the Puma Cup. Now just the 2 of them in that particular squabble, as there is the next one in line, which is I believe it was Mark Kerbel in his car, as I can see the 101 car, which is Gareth Cotgrave. I haven't seen him in this particular Puma battle, unfortunately, but he's just come into the pits as well, I can see. There's James Clare still staying on the back of the 152 car as they work their way through turn 7 up towards Peel, which is turn 9. Keeping the Pumas, I mean, even though they're a bit slower in pace than some of the cars are up against, I mean, that makes the racing no less exciting, as of course they're all, as we were saying earlier, they're standard, almost road spec cars. Very little has altered on these vehicles other than the mandatory safety equipment, and it's done like that for a reason, to keep the cost down. So that's exactly why that was done. And now you can see Mark Kerbel in the background beginning to close in on the 2 ahead. So he's looking to really make his mark on this particular Puma battle, which is, as you can see, still being led by the Jackson pair. It's gone a little bit deep going into the banking. That could have given James Clare a bit of an opportunity. So he has given him the opportunity side by side now for the Pumas coming down towards Church, but no, not quite in James Clare's favour. Well defended there from Jackson, or Jacko, as you can see on the front of the car. Lots of fidgeting going on up front with the pit stops going on. Slipstream, as much as these things aren't particularly aerodynamically efficient, they still will give a bit of an aerodynamic advantage to the ones that are chasing. James Clare is just biding his time at the moment, still working his way through the field, or through the turns I should say, and that's one of the Fiats that's catching up to them. As is the way with multi-class racing, it's always up to the faster car to make their way past the slower one. That's the number 3 car that's making his way through. That's Dave Marson, who started where did Dave Marson start? He started 9th in this particular race. So one of the 3 Marsons, one of the 3 Abarths we have in the field. Is he going to come in? Nope, he's not interested in that. We just saw the black MX-5 go through the shop. It was Andy Bailey of I've forgotten which car that was, my mistake there. You see some of the cars. There's the Jackson Puma, the green one, or the other Jackson Puma, I should say. Mark Jackson. That's piloting that one. That's been a regular in this series for a while. Back to the lead of the Pumas. The rest of the field are a little bit spread out, although now the pit stops are beginning to be served. This should bunch up some of the field again. There's the 87 car we can see on stream. So that's Adam Chamberlain handing that car over to Scott Carruthers. So that, I believe, is Adam Chamberlain's car. Again, a fairly regular addition to the Turbo Tin Tops. It's changed colour, but that's about it. It's a regular front runner in the series. Out goes Scott Carruthers then. We've seen him in a few cars in the CSCC as well, as the number 95 car is working its way past the Pumas, as Andy Bailey in the turbocharged Ford Fiesta ST. As we are, you don't have to use your car indicators. Oh dear, as the number 22 Mazda RX-8 nearly comes to grief. That's Stuart Erdley nearly tangles with the lead Puma, as we see Puma, Scirocco, Puma Mini all coming in to the pits then to serve their mandatory stop. As I said, it's a 10-minute pin window they have. It's already over half gone, so it disappears pretty quickly. As you can now see the tower on the screen then, John Hammersley is back up into the lead of the race from starting in 6th place in the Scirocco. Oh, it's an argument of the Marsons. It's a battle of the Abarths. Now that's Richard Marson in the 6 car, David Marson in the 3 car. Both of them Abarth 500s. A bit of a different front splitter arrangement going on between the 2 cars. That's the 95 car. That's Bailey coming through. Andy Bailey having to pick his way through the traffic. There's the number 60 Mazda. That's the second of our 2 Mazdas. That's the one I couldn't identify earlier. That's Jack Hordley. And Mark Worrell has found someone to chat to in the pit lane.
Yeah, I've got Adam Chamberlain, who has just jumped out of the Vauxhall Astra VXR. Adam, on the front row of the grid, you had a good early battle with Phil Briggs in the Seat Leon, but he just sort of got away with you before he pitted.
Yeah, it was a good start. Had him on the first bend, but then as soon as he got on the straights, that car is so fast. Literally pulled away from him up the back straight. But we'll see what Scotty can do and see if he can pull it back.
Yeah, you opted to pit that little bit later on, which means you were in the lead of the race when you came in to hand over to Scott.
Yeah, that was literally just so we get fair driver time, really. It was just trying to get the same amount of track time, really.
Think you can catch him? Think you can overturn Phil Briggs' lead that he had?
Scotty can, yeah.
We'll give it a go.
We'll give it a go.
Good luck with the race.
Cheers, thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Having a chat with Adam Chamberlain in the Astra VXR. There's a mighty fine beard on Adam Chamberlain there. And there is Phil Briggs as you go through the shop. And there is the Astra we've just been talking about, the number 87 car, picking its way past, I think that was Mark Kerbel's Puma. And looking at the timing screen now, they've served their penalty. They're only 3 seconds apart. Now, Steve Berry, I don't think has been in yet in the 666 Mini. So still got to bring in the the Cooper SR53 supercharged 1.6 litre car. There is who was leading the race for a little while, the club chairman John Hammersley. There is Mark Kerbel in the 187 Puma, chasing James Clare. So the lead of the Pumas has gone over to the number 100 car, I believe. So once the timing screen has sorted itself out post pit stop, of course, the pits will always aggravate the timing screen. And actually, the lead of the Pumas is still in the hands of the 142, which is Mark Jackson, but I suspect that car hasn't been in yet. So realistically speaking, it's the other Jackson Puma that leads the way, with James Clare right behind them, position-wise at least, in second. That's the 187 car, which is Mark Kerbel. So we got a 3-way fight, or we will have a 3-way fight for the lead of the Pumas again. Fantastic stuff. That's Mark Kerbel. Again, apologies if I'm not pronouncing the name quite correctly. But that's how I believe it is said. Just coming through the final turn onto the start-finish straight himself. Now, position-wise, the it looks like it's John Glover that's taking the lead of the Puma Cup now. Now that the pit stops are all done, or vast majority of them are done at least. The pits window will shut in 10 seconds time, so if they haven't been in, it will be a penalty. And for anybody that doesn't serve their pit stop whatsoever, it is a straight disqualification from the event. So again, the pit stop taken very seriously, but I believe everybody, a vast majority of people have been in. I don't know whether that might not have done, I can't see it on my screen unfortunately. Might be the 142 car, I'm not 100% certain of that. I've just gone through the shot actually, so if he has served his stop, he's doing very, very well, leading the Puma Cup by quite a way. So less than 10 minutes to go then, pit window has now closed as we look at Kevin Fulbrook in the 26 Mini, making his way past James Clare in the number 100 Puma, up towards turn 9, which is Peel. You could hear that roar of the supercharger I was going to say on stream, you can hear it pretty much anywhere. That's the third place car. That's Andy Marson in the Abarth Assetto Corsa, as it's called, starting in 4th and remains in 3rd position. A great effort there. And a car that I confess I didn't think would do too well. There's the treble 9 Mini. That is Aidan Francis and Sean Wortley. Sean started that one, so that is now in the hands of Aidan Francis, being challenged by the 199 car, by the 123 car, I beg your pardon, which is Paul Clothier and Kev Smith. That is our race leader. That's Phil Briggs in the Seat Leon. And that's been with the club a few years and has gotten stronger and stronger with each meeting it's been to. So that is doing very, very well. Was just plain blue for a while, as now, as you can see, got some racing credentials on the bodywork. Leads the Chamberlain Carruthers car by about 3.2 seconds last over the line, as you can see on the tower. And there is the Astra. So are we seeing a charge from Scott Carruthers? Well, Adam Chamberlain, as Mark was speaking to, was fairly confident. That doesn't look like 3 seconds to me, but that gap, of course, will ebb and flow as they come through the braking zones. They're going to head towards the line now. We'll get an update on what the timing is between our lead two. That's leading Group A, which in this category is 1900cc and above, is the Class A cars, 1.9 seconds. So Scott Carruthers is absolutely flying in that car. So it's Adam Chamberlain's car. Scott Carruthers, like I've said before, we've seen him sharing a few times. But at the moment he is in that beautiful Astra. There is Phil Briggs doing what he can to hang on to the lead, but he is going to be under assault pretty soon from Scott Carruthers. They make their way past the number 22 of Stuart Eardley, staying out of the way, very nicely done. As we see Phil Briggs now coming into turn 7, into rocket in. Can't quite see it on the stream who is catching. And there is Scott Carruthers. So I think Scott may have been slightly disrupted into traffic there, trying to chase after the race leader Phil Briggs. On they go nonetheless. That's very, very deep for the 87 car, but that is why he was getting around the number 22 RX-8 there. And Phil Briggs is going to find himself with a face full of somebody else in a minute. Just saw coming through the shots. The person he is going to find himself face to face with is the treble 3, which is Simon Small and Wendy Thorns. Simon in control of that one at the moment. And there they go through the shot. There is Scott Carruthers. Yep, you can see the timing has changed a little bit. Andy Marson is leader of Class E. You see the colour coding on the tower there for those watching the stream. Dictates the different classes that they're in. So the cyan blue at the top really matches Phil Briggs' car, actually. Is Class A, so that's the biggest engine category, which is 1900cc and above. Class B, which is being led by, I actually don't think we have any Class Bs, come to think of it, is the 1750 to 1899cc category. We don't have any Bs with us this weekend. C is 1500cc to 1900cc supercharged only cars. Leading that is Simon Berry in the Mini Cooper SR53. We still watch Scott Carruthers picking his way through the traffic, coming through turn 9. Can't quite see from that angle where Phil Briggs is. There Phil Briggs is. And that gap, I would say, has dropped again. So So when the Astra can really get its horses galloping, it is going to do well. They're going to come over the line. Let's see how the time changes. 2.2 last time around, 2.3 this time. So Phil Briggs finding a tenth and a bit on that particular lap. Class D is 1500 to 1749 cc, which is being led by the 95 car. That's Andy Bailey's, his Ford Fiesta. Leading Class E, as mentioned, which is the 1300cc to 1499cc, is the Fiat Abarth of Andy Marson. As we see Phil Briggs now going to put a lap on David Cox's Golf. A fairly straightforward outside manoeuvre going through School, which is turn 6. Now that could catch Scott Carruthers slightly out again. Scott Carruthers seems to have a good habit of finding traffic in the twisty bits, which is not ideal for turbocharged cars. It's not ideal for supercharged cars either. Oh, wow. Now that got a little bit ugly for Scott Carruthers. It looked like Scott was going to go for the inside line, but David Cox was possibly unaware that he was there. So Scott had to bail on that one. And even though it wasn't too much of an impact with the outside wall, look at the damage. Now, hopefully that's not caused any significant damage to the Astra. It looked like it was just a glancing blow, but that bumper doesn't look very happy. At least it's not hanging off. But Scott Carruthers will not be happy about that. That could well have scuppered their opportunity to challenge for the lead. And Phil Briggs will be breathing a bit of a sigh of relief, because Scott Carruthers did look like he had the pace to challenge for that top spot. Sail Leon now could well dance off into the distance. 10 seconds to good with only 3.5 minutes remaining. Could well have guaranteed Phil Briggs the top spot in this particular race. But that's going to give him the success penalty. Let's have a look at a replay of that incident. So there's Dave Cox in the 150 Golf. Now you can see Scott there starts to commit to the inside line, but then has to bail because David Cox has suddenly gone for that inside line himself. And that's the slight touch on the wall. But it does look very ugly, doesn't it? It doesn't look like anything's about to fly off the Astra, though. Bit of dented pride. I'm sure there's a few colourful words going on. Again, full tripod mode coming through the twisty bits. In case you're wondering why the cars will have a wheel dangling like that, the undulation change really exasperates that kind of weight transfer that goes on when a car is braking and turning at the same time. And Scott, again, very, very wide. I wonder whether he may well just be being very, very cautious with the Astra. Again, it's Andy Chamberlain's car. Even though it wasn't a very big hit, you can see that it has caused a bit of damage to that bumper. And Scott Carruthers may be unsure of the exact extent of the damage. Maybe it has put the steering out of whack. He's bringing it in. So he's not happy about something, or he's going to bring that one in to be examined. And Andy Marson has gone through to take second position in the Abarth Assetto Corsa. So that could be just a cautionary check over, or they could be seeing if they're going to retire the car. Fair amount of yanking going on that inside corner for the number 87 Astra. It's coming back out again, so it was just a cautionary look. And fair play to Scott Carruthers. He didn't want to chance that it was okay. He decided to take the safer option and bring that one in to be examined. As we now look at on stream, there is Scott Carruthers in the Astra just coming out of the pits, right next to Andy Bailey in the number 95 Fiesta. Now, I would imagine Scott Carruthers now going to have a bit more confidence to push the Astra a bit harder as he's coming through Church, then down towards School Gate. School turns 4, 5 and 6, that long back stretch where the cars can really get whatever horses they've got under the bonnet, they can really deploy them along that particular section. There is David Cox in the Golf. There's race leader Phil Briggs in the Seat Leon, chasing the Puma leader. I believe it's a Puma. Oh, beg your pardon, that's the 101 Puma. That's Gareth Cotgrove and Martin Smith. So Martin now in that one. It's a newcomer to the club. You see the Rookie X, or the Novice Cross, on the back of the car. That means they haven't done 6 races in that car yet. So as soon as they've had 6 signatures, they can discard that Rookie X with just a notification of to other drivers that particular individual where they're catching out to may not have as much experience. as expected. So that's actually going to put John Hammersley in the Scirocco up into the podium spots. Steve Berry in the treble six, leader of the C class. See the red accented number on the tower on stream is now up into fourth, with Andy Bailey in the Fiesta up into fifth, leader of the D category, which is the 1500 to 17.500 cc class. As we look at Phil Briggs, checkered flag being readied for the Seat Leon. And around the final corner, without too much fuss, your winner for race number 2 for the Motorsports Score Cerber Tin Tops and the Mr. Tyre Motorsport Puma Cup is Phil Briggs in the Seat Leon. Second in the end actually was John Hammersley. So where did Andy Marson go? He was in second last I knew. He's either stopped or he's had a problem somewhere. Oh no, the timing tower was slightly incorrect. It does happen if the transponders misbehave. Suddenly saw Andy Marson's name drop there, but no, Andy Marson is going to take second in the Abartha Tour de Corsa. Oh me of little faith, I didn't think that small 1400 would actually do well. No, he's now listed in third, so the timing tower is not 100% sure who's where, but either way, as more cars come over the line, John Hammersley is going to take what I believe is third position in the number 1 Scirocco, followed by the treble six of Steve Berry. He's going to win the C class. Then it is the Chamberlain Carruthers Astra, the number 87 car. Winner of the D class is going to be Andy Bailey in the Ford Fiesta. Winner of the A's, of course, race winner overall was Phil Briggs. Winner of the C's was, in the end, Lee Campbell in the number 14 Mini. And winner of the E's, I believe, is Andy Marson. I say the timing tower has got him listed in ninth, but I believe that was a mistake. But when the cars return to the holding area, we will have our roving reporter Mark Werrell go and have a chat with them and get their feelings on the matter. I would imagine, well, I mean, the Chamberlain Carruthers car isn't on the podiums. I suspect there may be a few words that are slightly less savoury, but either way, that's the nature of the beast. But that is how the table currently looks. Let's say a bit of a question mark over Andy Marson there. So not 100% sure what's gone on with him, but he is currently listed in ninth. But Phil Briggs and John Hammersley 1 and 2, with Steve Berry in third. Then it is the Andy Chamberlain Scott Carruthers car in fourth, with Andy Bailey in fifth. Then it is Lee Campbell's sixth, Sean Woodard in seventh in the 27 car. We didn't really mention him at all in the Mini. He's briefly shared that with Shields Bergstrom from Wisconsin in the USA. Then it is Dave Marson in 8th, then Andy Marson 9th. Again, subject to confirmation. Dave Cox in the Golf, rounding out the top 10. In 11th is the Thorn Small treble 3 Ford Fiesta. In 12th is Clark in the Mini Cooper SR53. Then the treble 9, the Francis Wortley car, takes on 13th. And 14th is the next Fulbrook, which is Kevin Fulbrook in the Mini. 15th is the Clothier Smith Mini. 16th is Rich Marson in the Fiat 500 Abarth. And then 17th is Hordley in the Mazda RX-8. So winning the Mazda RX-8 contingent was indeed Stuart Hordley. 18th is the Stuart Erdley, beg your pardon. Winning the Pumas was John Glover in 19th overall. 20th and second in the Pumas was James Clare. 187 is 21st, which is Mark Kerbel. 22nd is the Jacksons. Those that I believe didn't see the flag were the Cotgrove Smithson car, the 142 Jackson car, and sadly the number 98 Dancing Mini didn't see the flag. We now head down to Mark Werrell to have a chat with the top 3.
So Phil Briggs, winner of the Motorsports School Turbo Tin Tops. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Yes, it was a lovely race. We had plenty of pace. Once we got out in the lead, I just managed the gap really. I didn't want to push the car too much today because we've got another race tomorrow, so it does make sense. Very happy with the car. A bit more pace in it still. See what we can get out of it tomorrow.
Not quite a lights to flag victory because the Vauxhall Astra pipped you off the line, and then of course you pitted that little bit earlier.
I did expect that. These cars are never great off the line. We are working on that. It will get better. But yeah, we had expected to have to come back. We had that planned out.
Well, well done on the win. Good luck for tomorrow.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
There we go. So that's the race winner. We'll wander down here and have a word with the CSCC club chairman, because John Hammersley has managed to bring the Volkswagen Scirocco home into second place. John, driving solo as well this weekend.
Well, what a surprise. Up until the last lap they were showing me P4, then P3. What happened?
Car ahead had a time penalty, I gather, so that was what promoted you to P2.
Well, I wouldn't have driven so fast if I'd have known. Yeah, missing Nigel, I have to say. Poor old Nigel's laid up with a really back problem, really bad back problem. I'm hoping he's going to be fit and ready for the next one that we're doing at Brands on the Indy circuit. But Nigel, I miss you, mate.
Another race tomorrow, longer one, driving solo again, bit tough work.
It is, yeah, but you know, I'm okay with it. I had no tyres left towards the end, but I figure most of the other guys have got the same problem. This place just eats tyres, and I was very nervous of something going bang on the front corner. So, you know, last few laps I did try and nurse the tyres a little bit, but tomorrow's a fresh day.
Well done on today.
Thanks, mate.
And then we'll grab a quick word with Stephen Berry, who finished in third position. Stephen, just a quick one. At third, you're pleased with that, but some great fights you were having.
Oh, it's what a track. What a track. It's my first time here, and it really did amaze me. You know, the level of skill and concentration that you need on a lot of the sections of the track. Even when it just looks like a straightforward left and right, you've really got to think about it. And my tyres, I think, were gone maybe after 20-25 minutes. I had a late pit stop, and I think that actually gave me my tyres a little bit of time just to cool down a little bit. The first couple of laps, I thought I've got a bit more grip, and then it was a case of, right, well, where am I? My pit board was saying first in class, but I don't think, I certainly didn't expect third.
Well done on third overall, and Anglesy's gained another fan. So with that, we're done with the Motorsports Girl Turbo Tin Tops. Let's go back upstairs to Chris Buxton.